Hello everyone, welcome to TeQSpoc. My name is Rajkumar, Java trainer, 5+ years of IT experience. Today is a core Java session call. So today's class session agenda is we will see what is abstraction, what is abstract class, what is interface, what is a functional interface, what is marker interface, and what is a default keyword. So all these things are interrelated. This comes under the abstraction. Let us start our session. So first thing, what is a marker interface? So a marker interface is an interface that has no method or constant inside. Okay, it provides runtime information about the object. Okay, a marker interface is also known as a tagging interface. So we in previous classes we have seen overriding annotation, depreciated annotation. These are all are marker annotation because they have no static constant or method inside. Just we use as an annotation and using it. Okay. So that is basically these are overriding, documented, depreciated. These are basically example of the marker annotation, which they don't have a method and constant present inside this. Okay, this is marker annotation. And what is abstraction? This is the one pillar of the OOPS concept. In abstraction, we hide the implementation detail, and the way we achieve the in Java is by using the interface and abstract class. So we will see today's session what are the interface, what are the abstract class, how we will create interface, how we will create abstract class, and with the help of interface and abstract class, we basically achieve the abstraction. We hide the implementation detail. Means we in project also we will create one service layer. Inside that service layer, we will create an interfaces and okay. Means with the help of interface, we create one method and this method implementation, and that method should be we will import inside our controller layer. So in this way, the method are present in different folder. Means we have hide those method. Okay, with the help of abstraction. This we will see inside. Okay. Now coming to first, what is basically an interface? Interface basically defined as an abstract type, okay, used to specify the behavior of the class. Okay, and we will first see the definition. Some student may get the point from definition. Some student may do not get what there is written inside the definition. Then we will move toward the example. Through example, everybody will understand what is basically we are talking about. So interface is basically defined as abstract type used to specify the behavior of the class. Means we will like there is a in our project we have a controller layer. In our project we have service layer. Our project we have repository layer. Okay, so controller layer for uh, developing a logic. Okay, service layer we have different types of method which we will implement inside the controller. So okay, in service layer we will basically create an interfaces where we will build different types of logic. Okay, which we will basically implement inside the control. So basically an interface in the Java is a blueprint of the class. A Java interface contains static constant and abstract method. Abstract means incomplete method. Abstract basically means incomplete. So incomplete method. The interface in the Java is a mechanism to achieve abstraction. Okay. Abstraction means hiding the implementation detail. So interface help us to achieve a good design. Okay. So basically these are the definition of the interface. Now let me go through the our respective IDE. This is a class A, class B. Okay, we are here. Okay, now let me delete this class A. Now I will what I will do. I will create one interface. Go to new. Go to the this interface. Write interface name like I have given interface name as a A. Okay, finish. So in this way, we have basically created an interface inside our IDE. Okay. So the first definition is an interface cannot consist of complete method. Okay. Interface should not consist of complete method. It means you cannot create a complete method inside an interface like public void test. This is basically incomplete method. Okay, this is a example of incomplete method. Inside interface, you can then I will be writing public void test. If you do this and do this, okay, then this is basically an complete method. Okay, sorry, I will change the name. Okay, so this is basically a complete method. Complete. This is basically complete method. So inside an interface, you cannot create a complete method. Okay, we can only create an incomplete method and inside an interface. This is the first point we have to remember. So I will delete the complete method inside an interface. Okay. Now this is interface A, and now this is a class B. That okay. Now one more thing. If you implements means you do inheritance, yeah, you import the things from class A, means interface A to interface B. When we do here, you have to use implements keyword. Okay, let me. You have to use interface to class. You use implements. Implements keyword. Okay, and class to class you will use extend keyword. Okay. Now I will remove this one. Uh, mouse calmly. Remove this. I will what I will do is remove this. Okay. Now from interface to class, you have to use implements keyword. Okay. Remember, always remember this part. And you are getting some time of error because it is saying it will basically override the method which is basically present inside your interface. So when I go to B class, if you drag your mouse here, you can see add an unimplemented method. Means it will create an same method with an override. It will override the method which is present in the parent class. Click here. You can see it has been override the method which is that is the test method which is present inside the class A. Okay. Now here you can write the logic of incomplete method inside this class B. Okay. In this way, we are basically hiding the implementation detail. This is the way of, okay. We have created an interface class and we are implementing inside a child class. And in child class, we can now write the logic of the implemented method. Okay. We can override that method. Okay. And you can write SYSOUT this and some logic you can build here and you can implement this method inside your class. Okay, this is the first way. Okay, so interface help us to achieve a good design. Abstract means incomplete. Okay, abstract keyword basically means incomplete. When abstract keyword is applied on a method, that means the method is incomplete. In interface, to define an incomplete method, it is not mandatory to use abstract keywords. Means you can also write for creating incomplete matter. You can also write abst abstract keyword. You can use. Okay, but in interface it is not mandatory. You can okay. You can also do not write. Then also it is an incomplete method. Okay. And we have seen what is a marker interface. An interface that have no static constant method inside, that is basically a marker in interface. So one point I have to remember, like when we implement from interface interface to class, then we basically use implements keyword implements. Okay, and previous we have seen from class to class. When we are using, then we basically are using extend keyword. Okay, this 2 point always keep in mind. Okay, in Java interface, in previous we have seen in inheritance. The inheritance is basically not supported in the class level in Java because we have seen now, but inheritance is basically supported in the interface level. So how the inheritance is supported at the interface level in Java? Let me show you. Okay. So I will create one more class A, B, C, D. Now I will create one D class. D interface. Sorry, D interface. This is a D interface. Okay, two classes. Now, what is a multiple inheritance? Basically means two parent, one child. That is basically a multiple inheritance. So now I have A as a parent class, B as a parent class, and C. Oh, sorry, A is a parent interface. This is basically interface, and D is a parent interface. And now B is a basically an class. So now I what I will do, I will implement A comma B means I am basically sorry. This is for interface. You have to define incomplete method. I will create public void uh, sum. This is incomplete method. Okay. So in this way, we have created an interface cannot consist of complete method. Hence, we look okay. So we have to. I have created one. Now interface A have one method is interface D has some method some, and I have implement in class B implement A comma B. These are the two parent class. Okay. Now I am getting this because sorry, this is not B. This is D. Okay, D. Now I have to override the unimplemented method. Just go to drag your cursor here, add unimplemented method. Automatically, it will override the method present inside the D interface. So see, and now here you can write your logic. Okay, just south yes by SOUP, and you can write something. Okay, so in this way, we have seen in Java in- interface multiple inheritance is supported in Java at interface level. Okay, not in the class level. So this is the proof. So static method in interface we cannot create, and means you cannot create a static method inside an interface. STATI static void test. You cannot create this. Okay, you are getting an error already. Okay. Now we can extend and implement here. We can extend. There is extend keyword when class to class. In when we use from class to class, then we use extend keywords. Then interface to class, we use implements keyword. But we can use extend and implement together. Okay. For that, what I have to show you like first I have to let me this is a package. Okay, inside the package I am creating a one class that is a this is a class, and then I will create a p interface p interface. Okay, and then I will create a c class c class. Okay, so now cursor to save, remove this, save, remove this, remove this, a, this, remove this. Now I have a class B interface C class. Okay. Now what? Now I am basically showing you what is a hybrid inheritance. So hybrid is the combination of all the above. Okay. Now here I will basically show you how to use extend and implement together, but ensure extend is used first and then the implement basically will use. So we have a public class A and public interface B, then public class C. The public class C, we will use extend K, public class C and extend extend class extend class A. Then we will use implements and implements B. In this way, you will use both extend or implement, and this is basically an example of a hybrid in retail. This is a basically example of hybrid in retail because this is a combination of all the above. Okay, so this is basic an example how to use extend implements together. We have seen. So why basically okay, let me move to a few more points. Uh, So an interface cannot consist of complete method. This we have seen. And an abstract means incomplete. When an abstract keyword is applied on a method, this means the method is incomplete. We have seen an interface to define incomplete method. It is not mandatory to use abstract keywords. Yes, it is optional. In Java, interface support multiple intent. Yes, we have seen. A class can implement more than one interface. Yes, we have seen with the help of multiple interface. Every variable in interface by default is static and final. This is a one point you have to remember. Every variable in interface is by default static and final. An object for an object of an interface cannot be created, but reference variable can be created. This is the next point. An interface cannot have a constructor because they cannot be basically we cannot instantiate them directly. In interface and functional interface, there is basically no constructor because we cannot instantiate them. Okay. An object of the interface cannot be created, but reference variable we can create. This is the example. So here basically this you have interface. So interface by default like int id equal to 10. So by default this variable will be static and final. Okay. And uh, object of interface cannot be created, means you cannot like SYSOUT south, sorry, SYSOUT. Let me first remove this main method, then SYSOUT south. Object of interface cannot be created. Like if you want to create an object of interface, here is a b1 equal to b. So this cannot be created. As you can see, you are getting a error. Okay, but reference variable you can create. Okay, for reference variable you can create. Because reference variable you can create. Object on interface you cannot create, but reference variable you can create. This is the uh, written here. An object of interface cannot be created, but reference variable can be created. So we have created a reference variable a b b1. Okay. Now one more thing I want to tell, like static member in Java are never inherited. Okay. This thing you have to remember. Static method are never inherited and hence overriding is not possible. Okay. we cannot override the static method. Okay. So because overriding, we cannot override a static method because static method are never get inherited. Okay. So if somebody can we override the static method if interview asks, you can say a static incomplete. No, we cannot override incomplete static method. Or one more point, a static incomplete method in an interface cannot be created because overriding of static method is not allowed because static method we cannot inherit it. So this we have seen. Now let's move on the functional interface. So we have seen this. What is the use of interface? Interface basically used to achieve abstraction, achieve multiple inheritance, yes, to define a contract for what class can do without saying how, yes, to define a plugin like architecture. It is true. Now, functional interfaces. So functional interface should consist of exactly one incomplete, that is abstract method, and any number of complete method inside an interface, functional interface. A multiple inheritance is also allowed in a functional interface. For creating a functional interface, you have to write at the rate functional interface annotation for creating a functional interface. We cannot create a constructor in an interface or functional interface both. They are the foundation. What with the introduction of functional interface, we can use a lambda expression, that is okay method reference inside a functional interface, which were basically introduced in Java 8 that enable the functional programming language inside the Java. Because with the help of lambda expression, we can access the static, not static or non-static variable without creating an object. Okay, with the help of lambda expression. So let me show you what is basically a how we will create a functional interface. So basically, this is your interface. When you will write at the rate annotation functional functional inter interface, then this is basically your functional interface. So in functional interface, you have exactly one incomplete method, not more than one incomplete method, and any number of complete method inside and functional interface you can get. So exactly one incomplete method like public void test. Only one incomplete method, not more than one incomplete method. If create more than one incomplete method void test test, then you will basically get an error. Okay, that's why exactly one incomplete method. And any number of complete method, any number of complete method you can create. So paste, at the rate functionalintr just to remove this one. This also. This is a basically what happened. It is got stuck. So there is one term that is called as a DEFAULT, which was introduced in Java version 8. With the help of the default keyword, we can create a complete method inside an interface or functional interface. Okay. So in functional interface, we can create any number of complete methods. Similarly, we can create a complete method and inside an interface also with the help of a default keyword. So how will we create a default keyword can complete with the help of default keyword can complete method. So DEFAULT default void test two. In this way, we can create a complete method inside a functional interface. We can create any number of and complete method inside a functional interface. Okay, so this is the basically and practical. So why we basically if interview ask you why we are using default, why we have created default. Basically, we are creating an interface and then we implement that interface inside another class. Okay, and there we are building the logic. Then why we have created a default keyword for creating an complete method? So basically, you can answer in this way. Without affecting the implementation class, we can easily add a new method inside an interface, an interface, and implement inside an interface. That is a basic answer you can tell. Okay. So a functional interface should consist of exactly one incomplete and any number of complete method. Yeah, we can do functional interface inheritance. Means one class should be a interface and other class should be a functional interface. Okay, this way we can do functional interface inheritance. Similarly, we can do multiple inheritance in interface. Also, two class should be a functional interface and one class should be an interface. With that is we can do multiple inheritance inside an interface. In this way, basically you have the class B is a basically an functional interface and class C is a basically a class. Okay. Now in class A is a basically also a class. So what I will do, uh, I will delete the A, B, C. Okay. I will create one more class here. Not class. I will get one interface with the name D, and I will make it as a functional interface with the help of annotation at the rate functionalInterface functionalInterface spelling mistakes. Change to functional interface. Okay. Now, functional interface, we are getting error because it should have exactly one incomplete method. So public while sum is a one incomplete method. The error will be gone. Okay. So we have two functional interface B and functional interface B. Now C is a class. So multiple inheritance, two parent, one child. So we have two parent and parent functional interface B, functional interface D. Now what we will do? Interface to interface, like class to class extend. Similarly, interface to interface extend plus. But interface to class, you will use implement. So their interface to interface extend EXTENDES and write that is D comma T in this okay this way, and I will remove this uh, method P compliant interface. Okay, and I will remove this. Oh, no need of removing this. Then G sum and public ये public class है या फिर interface होना चाहिए इसके so uh, this C is basically C class. This is C class. I forgot. This is a C is a class, not C class. We have two class are functional interface and the implementation should be inside an interface. So A, B, C, D, E. I will create E interface. E interface. Oh, now B B. Oh, B is a one interface parent class. D is a one. Sorry. D is a one functional interface which is a parent class. D is a one functional interface which is a parent class. These are two parent class. When we implement from two parent, one child, that is two functional interface and one interface, then we will basically doing a multiple inheritance. Now I will basically what I will do, I will use extend keyword. Ex T E M D extend a comma not a extend B comma A. This in this way is basically we are doing multiple inheritance. Okay. Now, now what? Now, hmm. Now we have a this is a one class where functional interface. This is a functional interface. We have a one method public void test. Okay. Now here public class C. This is one class C. Okay. This class we can also write type main. Then we can write class name is B1 equal to this is arrow curly braces. Here should be a same column and write SYSOUT SYSOUT south south something. So this way of calling a method is basically called a LAMBD, a lambda expression. This is basically a lambda expression. Here, this method have no name. This arrow function is basically used for calling us. So, what is basically lambda expression? Lambda expression basically reduce the number of line of code during the development. Okay. So, So in functional interface, we use lambda expression. We have in early till Java version 7, we have to create an object using with the help of new keyword. But version 8 onward, the object is created automatically with the help of a lambda expression. This is basically lambda expression class B1 difference variable equal to method. This is a basically a method. This is showing this is a method arrow and calling the state. So from version 8 onward, object is created automatically with the help of lambda expression. Because of this feature, Java is also known as a functional programming language. Okay, able to access non-static method variable without creating an object. Similarly, this is a B is a functional interface. Remove this method first. This method. Remove this. If I write some variable inside int x, some variable, then in this method also I have to write pass the variable inside here x, and I want to print here this x. Okay, I want to print x and I want to call a method b1 dot method name is test. Okay, test and pass the 10. Okay. In this way, we are basically using the lambda expression to calling any method. Okay. Earlier, how we are calling in early days. First, I will run this. Okay, 10. Earlier, how we are calling? Earlier, we are calling in this. We are creating an object a1 equal to new a. Okay. Then you can create an variable and method, and you can pass the value inside the method, and you can and like a one dot, and you have to call sysout system dot out dot print, and you are calling this variable x. Okay, these are the earlier ways which we are calling the method. Now with the help of lambda expression, this is the another way of calling the method. Okay, here we don't have to write the method name here. Okay, this is basically a lambda expression. So in Java is a functional programming. If some interview asks, is Java is a functional programming language? You can write yes, Java is a functional programming language because of the version 8 onward with the introduction of lambda expression. We can access a non-static method, okay, without creating an object. Okay, basically here we in this this is basically lambda expression. Here we are not creating any object. Okay, so that is why we can access non-static method without creating an object. Okay. And one more interview question was asked like, do constructor get inherited? So your answer will be no, constructor basically do not get inherited. Okay, because they are uh, constructor do not get inherited. And you can if somebody asks what is a lambda expression, so you can tell a lambda expression is a short block of code which takes in parameter that is int x and return a value. Okay, when we pass the value here, it will return the value. Okay, a lambda expression are similar to a method. This is basically similar to a method, but they do not need the name of the method. Here basically we are not writing the name, only int x. Okay, this open and close parenthesis, and they can implement directly right in the body of the method. It means in main method, inside this main method directly we are implementing the lambda expression. Okay, this is basically a again once again if I will create the lambda expression. So uh, basically what is we have a public void test method. Okay, now we have to call this method with the help of a lambda expression. Okay, then in previously we how we are calling, we are creating the object of the class, and then we are calling any static variable or method. But here with the help of lambda expression, what we will do, like your class name is B. Okay, then you can write B B B1, because in this here we have the method. So this class name B1 to calling that interface functional interface method equal to open close parenthesis. If that method have some variable or parameter, to write that variable or parameter, then arrow function, then curly braces open and close sysout system dot out dot print. You want to print x, or here it will be a semicolon basically. Day one dot this. Okay, B1. B1 equal to int x x lambda expression. Since we are calling this with the help of the x, and B1 dot test. Okay, and just simply run. You are getting the value. So this is basically the lambda expression. Now move to next, that is a abstraction. Functional interface abstraction. So what is this? An abstraction class is a class that can basically abstraction class is a class that cannot be instantiated and and may contain an abstract method. This method, abstract basically incomplete method, method without any body, as well as non-abstract method means method with a body. So basically, okay, it is used to provide the base for a subclass and to enforce a contract for the subclass to implement a specific method. So why we basically use abstract method? Use an abstract class when you want to provide a common functionality to a multiple related class. Create one abstract class and implement the abstract class inside the another class, similar to an interfaces. And you have to force a subclass to implement a certain method. When then you can use abstract class. You have to share the state or behavior among the subclass. Then you can create one abstract class and implement those method to another class. You can create a particularly defined blueprint that a subclass must complete. This is the basically this is the structure. Let me go to the here. Close, close this one. Close this one. And this is the enter close. P Q class. What I will create an abstract method here. Okay. So first, what is abstract class? Abstract class here I will create an abstract class. For creating an abstract class, you have to write an abstract keyword abstract. Now it is an abstract keyword. With the help of abstract keyword, we basically create abstract class. So this thing you have to remember. Now, an abstract class can consist of both incomplete and complete method. Means you can create a incomplete method first, public void. This is an incomplete method, and incomplete method. Okay. For incomplete method, it is here abstract keyword is mandatory inside abstract class basically. So when you create an incomplete method inside an abstract class, it is mandatory to use abstract keyword. Similarly, you can create a complete method inside an interface also. Public void test view. This is a complete method. Then you can create a main method inside an abstract class also this way. Then you can create a static, not a static variable in abstract class also, like in x equal to 10 is a some a non-static variable and a static static variable in name equal to no, this is a static variable, a static string 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 name. Yes, should be capital of the string. Okay. So abstract class use abstract keyword for creating abstract class. You can create a non-static variable, a static variable. You can create incomplete class with the help of abstract keyword. Abstract keyword is mandatory. You can create a complete method. You can create a main method inside an abstract class. Okay. An abstract class, an object of abstract class cannot be created, but reference variable of the abstract class you can create. Okay. You cannot create an object of abstract class, basically. B1 equal to you cannot create, you are getting a cross sign, but you can create a reference variable of the abstract class. Okay, you can create reference variable. Okay. And then if you cannot get an object, then how you will call a non-static variable? To calling a non-static variable, what you will do? You will implement a inherit this method this abstract class into a some means if you can access a non-static variable of abstract class by inheriting means inherit this method to another class, create the object of the class B, and you can call the method of the call this non-static variable. Okay, and this way basically you can call. So this is the basic uh, abstraction. So now in project we basically use all this concept abstraction, functional interface and interface in a service method. So in a previous when we when we start the project we will see how we are basically using this interface abstraction concept in a service class and means okay basically these things are basically hide inside some package and folder, and this we basically use inside a controller layer to perform a certain operation with the help of the methods interface. Okay, so this we will see now. Default keyword we have seen. With the help of default keyword we basically create an complete method inside an interface with the help of default keyword in interface. Okay, so this all for today's session. Let's see you in the next session. Okay, thank you, bye bye, see you in the upcoming classes.
Contact us for the free job assistance. We will help you to get the IT job. Please like, subscribe, and share the channel for more regular updates from TeQSpoc.